Hello, today we are going to talk about how to start a business in 22 days, and I've got it right here. You can download it down in the comments, completely free. I've outlined everything you need to do to get your business started. I've got 22 days, but maybe you can do it quicker if you want, but my process takes 22 days, 22 steps, and would love for you to take action. I'm going to take a little bit of time to talk through all of it with you, and then I want you to have it. So take it, download it, print it off, and use it, and get your business going. I think starting a business is a really great way to grow your income, to have more freedom, and to do the things that you love doing. My name is Andy, and I am the host of the Blue Collar Builders YouTube channel. And this is a place where I share my personal business experiences. I have 3 businesses that I currently own. Some of them I operate, and some of them we've hired managers to operate. And so over the last 10 years or so, I've had a ton of experience and am trying to share the things that I've learned with folks who maybe just jumping into entrepreneurship. And I want to help you be successful and also avoid some of the mistakes I made. So without further ado, we'll jump right in to the plan here. Like I said, you can get it. It's down in the description below. Just click the link and go download it. Totally free. All right, so day 1, I think the first place to start is with kind of laying the groundwork. So asking yourself a few questions. What are your interests? What are your skill sets? Where do you have good connections? Where can you leverage those connections? Do you want this to be a side hustle business, or do you want it to be a full-time business? And then once you outline those things, go and start brainstorming some ideas. Maybe it's obvious, maybe you have an obvious skill, and maybe that's the business that you should lean into. The second one is understand why you're doing this. What are the things that motivate you? Do you want to make more money? Do you want to have more flexibility? Do you want to spend more time with your family? Do you want to buy a house? Do you want to buy a car? Whatever it is, understand why you're doing this and really leaning to your motivation for starting a business. The next one is, let's pick an idea. Whatever your skill set is, wherever your connections are, whatever your interests are, if you can perform a service that fixes people's problems or solves their needs, then you have a good business here. So what I like to do is tell someone, once you identify what your idea is, tell somebody. I think it's a really great way for you to take that idea and actually put some accountability to it. So if you want, feel free to email me, tell me what your idea is. I'd love to encourage and support you in moving forward with that idea. My email will be in the document that you download. The other thing I want to tell you is that when you pick an idea, your idea doesn't necessarily have to be unique. There are tons of businesses like plumbing and HVAC and pressure washing and all these businesses that have been around for a long time, and they are around for a long time because they're good businesses. And so your idea doesn't have to be some high-tech new thing. It can be an old-fashioned business that you put your spin on, and people decide to work with you because they like you, not because you have some fancy new thing. The second thing is really understand what type of problem you're solving. I think it's a really big thing to understand the need that you're feeling in the market and understand how to solve folks' their problems. Because when you go and meet with them, they're going to say, here's my problem, and they're going to look in that conversation to find confidence in your ability to solve their problem. And if you can portray that confidently through education and consulting and advising the customer on how to solve their problem, then they're going to choose you because they feel confident in your ability to fix their issue. So that's day 4. Day 5, we're going to focus on what your competitive advantage might be. So maybe your competitive advantage, I'll tell you what mine is. Our competitive advantage in the excavating world is that we are very quick to communicate and we focus a ton on customer service. Our other competitors do not do that. And it goes a long way when we're answering the phone, when we're calling and telling people we're going to arrive on this day at this time. When a problem arises, we call them and we tell them, well, this problem happened, we have a solution, we're going to fix it. And then when the work is completed, we over communicate and let people know every single step of the project that we completed. So communication is really our competitive advantage, and then obviously providing a very high quality service as well. Day 6. This is really an important one that I think, especially when you're starting out, can be really difficult because you want to serve everyone, but what you really need to do is focus in on a niche. So if you're a local service business, pick a small part of town. So if you live in Columbus, Ohio, then don't just try to serve all of Columbus. Pick a small little town. Maybe it's like Germantown, or maybe it's somewhere on High Street, or wherever your little area is in your town. Select a small area and really go after that niche area. On day 7, I have something that I think is maybe countercultural. I think a lot of gurus and people online would tell you not to do this, but day 7 is actually a day to rest. I think that resting is really, really important, especially when you're starting a business, because it's very easy to get burnt out. And it's also very easy in the beginning of your business to set bad rhythms. And so if you're not actually taking any time to rest from your business, then when it actually grows, you're not going to have the freedom to spend time with your family, or to go on vacation, or to do things that you like, because you haven't built them into the system of your business. So day 7, take a day to rest and celebrate the things that you have done over the previous 6 days. I think it's a really great time to reflect on what you have done and then what you also need to do. But reward yourself on day 7. I think it's a great day to celebrate what you've done and the fact that you're actually taking action. Day 8, we are focusing in on who our customers are going to be. So what is the age? What do they like to do? What's their lifestyle? Do they need to have a certain amount of income to pay for your service? If you have a high price service, then you probably need to be in a higher price area. If it's a quick, high volume, low cost service, then you may have a wider range of folks to target. The other thing is, back to what we said with the niche, is focusing in on a demographic area and really honing that in. Day 9 is identifying how you're going to fund the business. Are you going to bootstrap it? Are you going to take on an investment? Are you going to get an SBA loan? How are you going to do that? I think that's a really important piece for thinking through how to start a business. And when you download the guide, there's a few options for you there. And if you have more questions on any of this stuff, feel free to comment below and or send me a message. And I also think at this time it's a good time to tell you, if you like the video, feel free to like it and subscribe to the channel. Would love to have you along for the ride as we continue to move forward, helping you and others get their businesses started. The next thing is a sales forecast. What I like to do for the sales forecast is actually start calling some competitors in town, getting a feel for how busy they are. You can ask you can call them and act like a customer, and you can ask them what the price of their service is. You can ask them how busy they are. And if they tell you the price of our service is $150 and we are booked for the next 3 weeks, you can get an idea of how much they're doing in sales. And so this will help you as you're building out your sales forecast. There's a few other bullet points on here, but I'm gonna try to keep this video short as possible. Get them in the guide. The expense forecast. What are your monthly expenses going to be? You're probably going to need to buy equipment. You're probably going to you may need to find some subscriptions to manage your payroll and to manage your accounting and to manage your customer relationship. You're probably at some point going to need to hire people, and you may need to buy an office space or whatever that might be. So there's a list of things on the document here for you to think about when you are starting your business. The next one is create a marketing plan. How are customers going to find you? You need to think in 2 buckets, I think. The first is online. So you need to get your Google My Business set up. You need to get Yelp. You need to get Facebook. You need to get on Instagram, and you need to start creating those profiles and start posting on them. And then the next thing is more traditional. So word of mouth, reaching out to family members, reaching out to close connections. Maybe you want to put yard signs out. There's lots of different ways you can go about that, but really understanding where your customers are and how you're going to attract them is a really important piece. The next one is start putting your business plan together. And really understand what is your company's offering, what makes you different, and why will customers choose you. And then the legal side of this is you need to get an LLC set up. Is it going to be a partnership? Is it going to be an S Corp? Is it going to be a sole proprietorship? How are you going to do that? And set that up. So that's very simple. All you need to do is go to irs.gov. You can get your EIN. You go to your local state. I know in Ohio, you have to set up an articles of organization. Then once you get those things, you are an official business And then at that point, you can actually go take those documents and open up a bank account. But we'll talk about that in a few days here. So day 14, you guessed it, we're resting again. We're looking back on the 14 days that we have completed and we're celebrating. And we're also thinking about how we're going to move forward. But like I said, reward yourself. On this day, you've done a lot of work at this point. You're getting really close to starting your business, and you should take some time to celebrate that and reflect on the work that you've put in. The next one is create a logo and a tagline. If this isn't something that you're very skilled at, you can always go to Fiverr or Upwork, or if you do have some skills, you can build it on a website like Canva. I believe they have a very cheap membership or subscription that's like $12 a month, and you can build out your brand, your logo. You can create different types of things if you want to do flyers or if you want to do business cards or whatever it is. You can set all that up in there. And then the tagline. The tagline is really important because it basically tells your customers very quickly what it is that you do. And the key to this is act like you're explaining it to an 8-year-old. So for us, we're an excavating company. We do commercial and residential excavating. What does that actually mean? We prepare sites. We prepare sites for you to build on. Is basically the simple way that we communicate who we are. We can make it even more simple and say we move dirt. That would be a very simple way to communicate what we do. But really think through that for your business, how you want to communicate that. The next one is, let's get a website set up. Let's start building that SEO. Let's start building that online reputation so that customers can start to find us organically, as opposed to constantly needing to do traditional marketing or word of mouth marketing. So if you're not proficient with building websites, which I wasn't, I paid somebody on Fiverr or on Upwork to go do it. The other thing is there's a business called Town Square, and they specialize in creating local websites and also optimizing them for SEO. I think it's like $200, $300 a month, but it's money that you will make back very quickly because once your website is ranking, you will get organic leads. The next one is start telling your friends and family about your business. You're in day 17. You have pretty much the full foundation built. You are ready to go confidently share your business with your friends and your family. Tell them about it. And what they're going to want to do is support you. So they're going to potentially work with you, but even more so, they're going to start helping you get the word out. And so I think this is a really important part. And I think it's actually one of the more scary parts with starting a business, because you're at this point, if you fail, now everyone will know. Before this point, you didn't have that level of accountability. So as opposed to thinking about how you're going to fail, think about how having this accountability is actually going to be fuel to your fire, and it's actually going to continue to motivate you further. And you can do this. I'm very confident that you can do this. The next one, day 18, is let's set up a bank account. You have your EIN, you have your articles of organization. You can now take those documents and you can go to the bank and you can get a business account set up. Day 19, I think, is good to set up some business cards and maybe get some more print marketing together so that you're ready to hit the road. And as you're sharing your business with folks, you want to give them something that they can take with them. So hand them a business card or hand them a flyer, whatever it is that you prefer. Day 20, let's get set up with some business insurance. Every business that you have will need some level of insurance. It'll probably be a liability insurance. You're going to have different a range of costs based off of how much revenue you're doing or how much projected revenue you're going to do. And so this is a necessary thing. You're going to need it, especially if you're working in local services or if you're hosting customers. You're going to need that coverage in case something were to go wrong. And then day 21, you guessed it, it's a rest day. We like to rest before we actually launch the business and get started. And so if you can implement this discipline right before you launch the business, I'm confident that in 5 years, when the business is booming, you're going to be able to also say, I don't need to constantly be in this business. I can rest today. And so it's all about building healthy rhythms. So day 21, rest. And then you guessed it, day 22, it is time to launch your business. So let's get out in the world. Let's go find some customers and let's go provide awesome services and awesome products to people and let's fulfill their needs and solve their problems. So I hope this video is really helpful. I've done this a handful of times now at this point, and I'm pretty confident that this is a very thorough process that you can implement very quickly and have a ton of success launching your business. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. I will answer them. Feel free to also click the link in the description and download the 22 days to get started. And let's take some action. Let's get our businesses started. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.